Hello everyone. Today I am going to start a chapter from Geography for class 8th, and the name of the chapter is Land, Soil and Water. This chapter will be divided into three parts. The first part we have already discussed regarding the land. This is the second part in which we are going to discuss about the soil resources, and in the next part we will be discussing about the water. So this is part 2 of the chapter number 2, soil resources. Let's get started. Before we start, I would like to say that what is soil? Soil refers to a thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth. It is closely related to the land, and the quality of the land is determined by its soil cover. So, soil is formed by the disintegrations of the rocks and decayed organic matters by the living organism, water, air, and so on. Soil is vital for an area as it governs the agriculture pattern of the area. The topmost layer of the crust, made up of decayed plant and dead organism, is called humus. Humus mixed with the disintegrated rock material to form the layered structures of the soil, and this layered structures which spread from the bedrock to the top surface layers known as the soil profile. So as you can see in this model, we have a variety of types of soils that is available in India and worldwide. These soils are having different textures, different colors, different varieties, and because of these characteristics, they are available to the environment and utilized by the different people for different kind of activities, like for agricultures, for farming of farmlands, or for other activities. Next in this module, we are going to discuss about the soil profile. So student, you must be wondering what is soil profile. Soil profile is a further division of the numbers of origin of the land. Actually, the soil on which we are growing the commodities, it is divided into certain layers, and these layers will be considered as origins, and horizons are divided into five categories: O origin, A origin, B origin, C origin and R. So we are going to discuss about these in detail. First of all, O origin. O origin is also called the humus. It is a mixture of decayed plant material and dead organism. It has plant roots and soil organism. As you can see in this module, the uppermost layer of the soil is known as humus or O origin, in which the plant actually grows. Next to the O origin, we have A origin, that this is also called the topsoil. It contains the humus and the finer particles of rocks. It is the uppermost origin of the soil profile. So after the organic, the humus and A origin, we don't have much of the differences between these two. Humus and topsoil are just mixture of both of these, so it is contained as O origin and A origin. Next is the B origin. Below the A origin, we have B origin. It lies below the topsoil and contain small rock particles, soluble minerals and iron oxide. So this was the B, that is subsoil as well. And you can see in this picture, after O origin, we have A, the topsoil, and the B is subsoil origin. Then C origin, fragmented rock material. It lies below the subsoil and above the parent rock. It is made up of the small pieces of rocks that comes from the parent rock. Parent rock is basically the harder rock, and the small stone particles that get separated from the parent rock will be associated in the fragmented rock material, that is of C origin. And the last, we have the R origin, parent or the solid rock. The origin consists of the parent rock. It is a solid unweathered rock. Different types of parent rock and different climate produces different types of soil. So basically the color of the soil will be associated and mostly dependent on the parent rock. Like we are the children of our parent, so we have the qualities what our parents have, like someone have big eyes, blue eyes, long hairs, long height, short heights. So these are the kind of characteristics that we receive from our parents, and we will be somehow look like our parents. So the soil is also a kind of the thing which will be originated and will be associated with the parent rock. Whatever kind of the parent rock will be available, the soil will be available according to that particular type only. Next in this module, we are going to study about the types of the soils available in India. Basically, here we are explaining the six major types of soil that is available to India. First is alluvial soil, laterite soil, black soil, red soil, sandy desert soil, and mountain soil. So, what are these types of soils? I'm going to explain it. Alluvial soil, first of all, the soil is found in the northern plains and delta. It is of two types of Bangar and Khadar, and in India these are mostly found in Ganga plains. As you must be knowing that rivers are flowing in certain areas, and along with the water they are taking the types of soil and the other materials along with them, and with the passage of time as they entered in the plain areas, the soil retained over there and the water run off. So that particular soil is known as alluvial soil, and it is the best quality soil for growing any of the agriculture commodities. And in the Ganga plain, as you must be knowing this, that Ganga is the longest river in India. So the areas from where the Ganga move, we have a fertile plain areas over there, which is most appropriate for growing of agriculture commodities. Next is laterite soil. It is red type of soil found by the temperature are where the temperatures are high and there is wet and dry period. Yani somehow somewhere it is very hot, and somewhere it is very dry. So hot and dry wet conditions actually form these types of soils, and these kind of soils are available in the western Ghats and Chota Nagpur plateaus, the plateau regions and Ghats in the area. These kind of soil is available. Next is black soil or a regar. It is formed by the dark igneous rocks, lava. Yani, in the rock formation, in the rock cycle, we know that the lava, when it comes out on the surface, it get cooled down and form the igneous rocks. So igneous rocks form the black kind of soil, and it is rich in iron content because the lava actually has so many types of minerals. So it is found in the Deccan Plateau and very good for the cultivation of cotton. Black soil is basically very good for growing of cotton. So all the cotton farms will be available near to the Deccan Plateaus. Fine. Next is the red soil. This is formed due to the weathering of the old igneous rocks in peninsular India. This red color is due to the high iron content available in this soil. As you can see in this picture, the big red farms are available. So this is the kind of red soil available. Why it is red? Because it has major quantity of iron contents. It is found in Jharkhand, Odisha, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Next, that is sandy soil. This type of soil is low in organic matter and could be used for the cultivation where the water is available. Like in Rajasthan, as we all must be knowing that we have deserting soil. It look like this, and it is not useful for any of the people without the availability of water. It could be utilized for the agriculture, but the water is necessary. Next is mountain soil. This is a thin soil and not very fertile, but due to the use of cultivation in the slope, the mountain region, it is also used in the mountainous area where the slopes are available. Very less thin kind of soil is available, so that these areas are used for growing of rice. Slopes are basically used for rice. So these are the kind of soil. The alluvial soil in the frontmost upper picture is of alluvial soil. Next we have the soil of laterite, then the black soil is available, then red soil, the farms, then sandy desert soil, and the mountainous soil. Next, we are going to discuss about the factor that affects the formation of the soil. As we have discussed earlier, that the parent rock, the relief and topography, the climate, time, and the natural vegetation are certain factors which affect the formation of the soil. Parent rock, it determines the color, texture, chemical properties, minerals contains of the soil actually. The parent rock, if it is of igneous rock, so the soil will be of black color. If it is of the laterite soil, the color will be of red color, or the sandy desert soil. So these are basically the parent. How the parent will be look like, the soil will be having the same kind of compositions. Next we have the relief and topography, both the altitude and slope. The mountainous areas, the soil formation will be of different, and in plain area the soil formation will be different. So if we are living on mountainous area, the soil will be having the different kind of qualities, and if we are living in the plain area, so the soil will be having the different qualities. Next is climate, temperature, and rainfall. If we have high temperature and good rainfall, the soil will be good. If we have high temperature and no rainfall, the soil will not be available to all like in the Rajasthan we have. And if the temperature is low and rainfall is very high, then only the soil will not be utilized. So we need a complete perfect mixture of temperature and soil for making the soil fertile. Next is time. It determines the thickness of the soil profile. Actually, it took thousands of years to form the soil, because the rock cycle itself took many of the thousands of years to form the rocks. And when those rocks get separated from the parent rock, they divided into small tiny particles and the soil formed. So it took long time. And natural vegetation, wildlife and microorganism, the decayed plant material add the humus to the soil, while the roots of the plants hold the soil and prevent soil erosion. So bacteria, fungi, protozoa causes decay of the plant and animal. So these are the things which affected the formation of the soil. Next in the module, we have the degradation of soil. Soil has a certain property such as fertility, ability to retain air and moisture that enhance the agriculture production. Under the condition of soil erosion, soil is robbed of fertility and the plants fail to grow. Human activities such as plugging and the removal of the natural vegetation help the wind, running water, and other agents in the soil erosion. Soil erosion means the top fertile layer of the soil run off with the water, and this is because of the human activity that we are performing. And what are the factors which are responsible for the causes of soil erosion? Are the uncontrollable runoff of the surface water. If the floods are there, the top fertility of the soil will run off. Overgrazing of the land, as you can see in this module, the animals that are grazing the farmland will reduce the soil fertility, and the land will convert it into the barren land. Improper farming techniques, this will also be responsible. Deforestation, that means of cutting down of forest. Overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides that turned the fertile soil into the barren land, and you can see in this module. Then landslides, floods, strong winds and rainfalls, and human activity, these all are the factors which are responsible for the causing of soil erosion. Next in this module, we are going to study about the conservation of soil. What is conservation of soil? The prevention, protection, and efficient utilization of soil resources is known as the soil conservation. It is praiseworthy effort made by men to prevent soil erosion in order to retain the soil fertility. Some examples are given below for conservation of the soil. First is afforestation. Afforestation means under this method, rows of trees are planted at short distances in the farm to provide shelter belt, mainly used in the coastal and dry regions. So basically, these are growing of trees in certain distances, short distances, so that the roots of the plant will conserve and store, control the soil, and the soil erosion could be reduced. Next is mulching. Mulching, in as you can see in this next picture, in the organic matter such as straw, grasses are used to cover the bare ground between the rows of plant. It helps soil to retain moisture. In the second picture, you can see this is a picture of mulching in which the plants are grown, and in the spare areas of the plant we actually put certain straws and grasses so that the soil fertility could not be reduced. Next is counter control overgrazing. The fooder should be raised as the crop because the free movement of the animal loosen the soil particles. So we should not allow our animals to move to the farmlands to graze. For them, we should grow the fooder so that they can avail the food by that fooder crops, and the control of the overgrazing could be there. Next is rotation of the crop. As you can see in the next picture, we have a rotation of crop. We can grow different kind of crop in the alternate way so that they can grow well, because the different crop need different elements. Keep on producing one single crop on one land will reduce the kind of quality that grow on that particular land. So rotation of crop is another method, so that once we grow one thing, like in this picture we can see that once they grow the wheat, then they grow the oil seeds, and then they grow the plants, fruits and vegetables. So this is a kind of rotation through which we can restore the fertility of the soil. Next is terrace farming. As you can see in this picture, in the mountainous area where the flat land is not available, people usually do such activities for growing of rices. So terrace farming is used in the steep slope where the broad flat trenches are made in the steep slopes to cultivate different types of crops, and this will also help in reduction of the soil erosion. Then construction of dams. So in the case of floods, if we constructed the dam, that could control the water of the floods, and it will not be run through the flatland areas, and the soil fertility could be restored. And the last is intercropping. Different crops are grown in alternate rows and are shown in the different times to protect the soil from the rain wash. As you can see in the last picture, there are two types of crop which are grown interlinked, so it will also restore the soil fertility. So these are the kind of conservation of the soil. We can take these kind of action for the prevention of our soil erosion. So this is it with my presentation. Take care. Bye bye.